Hi, this is Amy Romeo from the jewelry making and craft blog, amyromeo.com, and on this channel I share fun and easy jewelry making and craft projects. Today in this video I'll be showing you how to make these wristlet key fobs from faux leather and heat transfer vinyl. This is a really fun and popular project. There's lots of different ways to make them, but the way I'm going to show you is easy and foolproof. And as always, I'll have the free SVG file for you in my resource library. So if you're ready to learn how to make these, let's get started. To make the faux leather wristlets, I will be using my Cricut Maker to cut the faux leather. You could also use the Explore Air 2 or the Cricut Joy if you have the 12-inch long Joy size mat. I'll be using the purple strong grip cutting mat in the Maker to cut the faux leather and some blue painter's tape to tape it down to the mat. And I'll be pressing the heat transfer vinyl onto the back of the faux leather before I make my cut. And this gives you a nice clean edge on the edge of the keychain. I'll be showing you how to do that. You can use any faux leather you want. I don't recommend using something like chunky glitter because as the keychain bends, the glitter can flake off. But any solid or foil iron-on heat transfer vinyl will work really well for this technique. If you wanted to use glitter heat transfer vinyl on the back, that's thicker and that will not cut very well using this technique where we press the two together and then make the cut. So in that case, I'll show you an alternate technique when I'm going through how to set up your mat in Cricut Design Space. So you'll need your Maker, you'll need some faux leather, some heat transfer vinyl, some blue painter's tape. You can use to press the vinyl onto the back of the faux leather. You can use the Easy Press Mini or a regular Easy Press. You could even use an iron on very low heat with no steam. To press, I'll use my pressing pad and a little cover sheet. This is a piece of Teflon sheet that I've cut down smaller, but you could also use parchment paper. And to attach the keychain hardware, then on Amazon they sell these packs of the hardware, which has a little clamp that you clamp down. And if you're buying this for the first time, I recommend buying one that comes with the pliers. These pliers have rubber tips so they won't scratch up your hardware, and they're perfectly sized for clamping this down. I got this one on Amazon in all these different colors. These are 1 inch wide, and they also make these in 1 1/4 inch wide. The SVG file that I'll give you for these faux leather wristlets, I'll give that to you in both the 1 inch and the 1 1/2 inch size. And if you wanted to attach a tassel, you can certainly do that. I'll be using my jewelry making pliers to attach the tassel. Amazon has these in a bunch of colors, and this is just a 9mm jump ring that I got on Amazon, and I will link to that for you. You'll also want to have some craft scissors, a weeding tool, and a Sharpie marker that matches your faux leather, and I'll show you a cool trick for using that. So before I get started showing you how to do these, they're a really great item to make in your shop because they just use up scraps of faux leather and heat transfer vinyl. I also wanted to remind you about my stud earring tutorial. I have a video on these. This is another great way to use up scrap faux leather, and I'll link to that for you. So the last thing that you'll need for this project is the SVG file, and that's in my resource library. It's going to be design number 175, and I'll show you quickly how to get into my library, download the SVG, and upload it to Cricut Design Space. To get the SVG file for the faux leather wristlets, you'll want to visit my blog at amyromeo.com, and you'll click on the resource library tab if you already have the password. If you don't have a password, it's very easy to get. Just click on get a password, let me know where I should email it to you, and you'll receive the password instantly. Then you'll return to the resource library and enter the password. And once you're inside, all of my designs are numbered. So you will be looking for design number 175, faux leather wristlets. And then you will click on this the blue heading. It will say faux leather wristlets, and you'll click there, and the SVG file will download instantly to your device. It's a zipped folder, so you'll need to unzip the folder before you can upload the SVG to Cricut Design Space. So in Cricut Design Space, you'll click Upload, and I've already uploaded this SVG, so I see it here, but you would browse for it on your device to upload it. then choose it and click Insert Images. So these two shapes are the wristlet long rectangles. This is the 1 inch wide version, and this is the 1.5 inch version. I'm sorry, 1.25 inch. So you will choose the shape you're going to cut based on the hardware that you have. I'll be demonstrating the 1 inch version today, so I will just toggle this eye off to hide the 1.25 inch version. So this shape will be cutting from faux leather, and we're going to press the heat transfer vinyl onto the back of the faux leather before we cut it. So with one cut, we will end up having a faux leather front and a heat transfer vinyl backed keychain shape. I did mention that if you wanted to put glitter heat transfer vinyl on the back of your wristlet, then that material is a little too thick to cut at the same time when you're cutting through the faux leather. So in that case, I would recommend cutting one mat with faux leather and then one mat with the glitter heat transfer vinyl rectangle and pressing them together. So to do that, you would want to duplicate this shape just like that, and then change the color of the second shape. It doesn't matter what it is, but if you change the color, Cricut Design Space would cut these on two different mats. So you would cut the first shape on the purple strong grip mat using your faux leather cut settings, and this you would cut on a separate green mat using glitter vinyl settings. So I will just be cutting the faux leather shape today. So I will go ahead and click the Make It button. And here it is on my mat. I'm going to drag it a little bit away from the edge because I don't want any of the roller bars to roll over it. Maybe I'll put it right about there. And this rectangle is 11 inches long, so it just about exceeds the mat area, but that's okay because it fits. We'll go ahead and click Continue. And then I like to cut faux leather on the faux leather paper thin setting. This faux leather that we're cutting will have heat transfer vinyl on the back, but that's okay. You'll use the same setting, faux leather paper thin, and more as the pressure. If you don't have faux leather paper thin, you can find it by clicking on Browse All Materials and searching for it. So I've got that set as faux leather paper thin, more pressure, and we're ready to make our cut. So I've cut my faux leather down to size. This is a piece that's about 2 inches wide and a little longer than 11 inches. And I've also cut a piece of heat transfer vinyl the same shape because we want to press the heat transfer vinyl onto the back of the faux leather before we cut. So I'm going to put that down on my heat pressing pad. I've got my Easy Press Mini on the lowest setting. Again, you could use a traditional Easy Press or even an iron. If you are using the glitter on the back, like I mentioned, then you would skip this step for now. Cut your mats, cut the faux leather in the rectangle shape, cut the glitter vinyl in the rectangle shape, and then come back to this step and press them together. So I've got my Teflon sheet covering, and I'm just going to press. So the heat transfer vinyl needs to be pressed very well all over on the back of the faux leather, or else you'll get bubbles, and then the bubbles will tear when you cut the faux leather with the vinyl on the back. So let me show you how to see if it's secure or not. So I'm going to peel this back, and I'm looking for any bubbles or any areas that didn't stick down all the way. This actually looks pretty good, but I'm still going to press this one more time with the clear transfer sheet off to really get this faux leather to press, to sort of press together with the heat transfer vinyl. So that looks really good. I will just move this out of the way for a moment. I have my purple strong grip cutting mat, and I'm going to put the faux leather pretty side down right on the purple mat where the Design Space preview showed me my shape was going to cut. And then I'll use the blue painter's tape just to tape it down on all sides. If you're doing a lot of these, don't worry about the blue painter's tape, about wasting it, because you can use this over and over again. And then we'll load the mat into the machine and begin the cut. So the faux leather paper thin setting that I chose is an automatic double cut. So the Cricut cut the shapes twice. And I am just using the regular fine point blade, by the way. The double cut is great, but it doesn't always cut all the way through. So what I like to do is check with my sharp weeding tool and see if it did. If it didn't, then, or if you just want to double check, you can press the C button to repeat the cut as long as you haven't unloaded the mat. So I'll go ahead and repeat the cut just to be sure. So I'll unload the mat, bend the mat away from the faux leather and just sort of peel up. And I wanted to show you, when you cut the faux leather and the heat transfer vinyl together, the knife blade, the fine point blade leaves sort of little tiny jaggedy edges. I don't know if it's easy for you to see that, but there's an easy way just to get rid of those by pressing one more time. So I'll put my cut piece of faux leather, again with the easy press just on the lowest setting. This also helps make sure that there's no places on the edges where the vinyl can lift up. And the wristlet shape is ready. I wanted to show you a cool trick. Depending on the inside of the faux leather, sometimes it's white or it's a color that you don't like and you want it to look finished on the edge. So I know it sounds crazy, but I just use Sharpies and I color the edge of the faux leather. So here I have one that's the same material and you could see the yellow Sharpied edge. Very easy to do. You just take your Sharpie and sort of touch on the edge. Let me see if you can see that. There we go. And you just color all the way around. And it just makes your keychain look more finished. So before I show you how to attach the hardware, I just wanted to mention putting vinyl on the back of the faux leather to make a wristlet is the simplest way. There are other ways to do this, one of which is being the method where I told you can put glitter on the back, or you can also do 2 pieces of faux leather glued together front to back. And if you're interested in seeing that or seeing how to put heat transfer vinyl on the faux leather to personalize your keychain, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to make another video for you to show you some different techniques. But once we have our faux leather cut to size, it's time to attach the hardware, and you're just going to bend the 2 ends together so they line up, and then put the hardware on the end. You'll want to push it all the way to the back, and there's little tiny teeth in here that are going to grip onto the faux leather for you. So you want to hold that together and use your special rubber tip pliers that came with the hardware. And you can just reach over this way. Let me see if I can do this on camera so I can hold it up for you. And just squeeze. And as I said, the nice rubber tips on the edge will keep your keychain hardware from getting scratched up or dinged up. And you just press down all over. And that's it. Isn't that cute? And if you wanted to attach a tassel, you'll just open your jump ring. I like to use 2 pairs of pliers to open my jump rings. Open and slide on the tassel. Slide it onto the key ring and close it up. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make these quick and easy wristlets from faux leather and heat transfer vinyl. Again, let me know if you'd like to see more variations on this. And don't forget to check out my stud earrings, and I will link to that for you. Another great way to use up faux leather scraps. If you like that project, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. I have lots of great faux leather and Cricut crafting projects for you to check out. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.